This episode was suggested by Goba White Barrio Star and Breezy Mare. Thank you. Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode is on journalism. Let's go. First up, the stats. 5 starts, 4 wins, and 1 third-place finish, with earnings of $638,000. For major races, he won the Los Alamitos Futurity, and then the San Felipe Stakes, and the Santa Anita Derby. The Santa Anita and the San Felipe both had their points reduced by 25% due to having their fields not able to be filled. For running style, journalism is a stalker, staying right behind the leaders, and then he usually singles out a target, one horse left, in the top of the stretch. When he does this, then he activates his powerful go switch, where he switches lead legs, from his left lead to his right lead. And when he activates this second gear, he does it with incredible precision, running down horses and even having some time to open up a few lengths if he's having some fun. This strategy makes him very visually impressive, as no horse has been able to ward off his late closing moves. And also, he's been able to pull off the strategy even when things don't necessarily go his way, such as in the Santa Anita Derby, where the track surface was deeper than it usually is, and he was constantly getting boxed and even checked in certain points of the race by Baffert's team. He was getting singled out, and yet he still was able to find his way on the outside and run down Baeza, who ran a incredible race to be second. No one else even came close. For strengths, journalism has outran many horses that were supposed to beat him. In the Los Alamitos Futurity and the San Felipe Stakes, he was not the favorite. Everyone believed that a different Baffert horse was going to be the main focus, but instead he ran them down just the same. And then in the Santa Anita Derby, he faced off against the champion 2-year-old Citizen Bull, and he unfortunately ran a clunker, and journalism ran away with the race. And despite the fact that almost all of his races have been against paltry fields, he did actually break his maiden in a field of 10, and was able to navigate that field decently. Still, that is half the size of the Kentucky Derby field, but it's at least some indicator that his weakness and concern of having to deal with a way larger field is slightly mitigated, although we'll talk a little bit more about that later. He has incredible finishing strength. Even horses that were supposed to be better than him could not hold it off. He's overcome adversity, especially when traffic doesn't go his way, despite it being in small fields, and he has one of the longest win streaks of any horse in this field. Most horses in this race tend to trade blows with each other, but journalism has been consistent and dominant, winning race after race after race. The only horses with better winning streaks in the Kentucky Derby is Luxor Cafe, who is tied with 4 straight, and Coal Battle, who won 5 straight before he lost the Arkansas Derby. For weaknesses, all of his stakes races have been against very tiny fields, of only 5 to 6 horses. He may have broken his maiden against a larger field, but his biggest races were all against smaller fields, so there is still some concern to be had. He's also completely unfamiliar with the East. In general, the West Coast going to the East can be sometimes a mixed bag. Great horses like Lava Man and Beholder had trouble doing it, but then other West Coast horses like California Chrome were able to do it no problem. We'll just have to see. It's not as big of a jump as, say, Japan to America, like with Luxor Cafe and Admire Daytona, but it still is something to consider, especially when this horse is going to be playing the role of the favorite. He still is going to have to reach some uncharted territory. Overall, I would say that journalism has answered every question he has been asked in the West. Now, he just needs to be just as good in the East. If he can do that, then he could win this race. For that, I give him a solid A grade. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Derby Profile. Next time out, I promise I will continue going with the highly requested horses, such as Citizen Bull, Tapan Street, or East Avenue, and Luxor Cafe especially. I'll get them done, I promise. See you guys next time.